People call the pothos the devil's ivy because they say you cannot kill it. That is not really true. And the way most people end up killing it is going to surprise you, because a pothos does not die in a dramatic way. It dies quietly. One yellow leaf here, a pale leaf there, vines stretching longer and longer while the plant gets thinner and sparser. By the time the plant actually looks bad, the problem has been building for months underneath the surface. So in this video, I want to walk you through everything I have learned. Why pothos leaves turn yellow, why they go pale, why the vines get long and skinny, how to propagate this plant for free, and the one thing most care guides get completely wrong about watering. Stick around until the end, because I will share a propagation trick that turns a single small cutting into a full, bushy plant in about half the usual time. And almost nobody talks about it. Knowing your pothos and giving it the light it actually wants. Before anything else, you really need to know which pothos you have, because it changes how you should care for it. The golden pothos is the most common one. Green leaves with those irregular yellow and gold patches. This is the one you see everywhere in supermarkets, hardware shops, furniture stores. It is the most forgiving variety, and it handles lower light better than any other type. Then you have the marble queen, which has heavy white and cream variegation. Here is the catch. The more white on the leaf, the slower it grows, because those white sections have no chlorophyll and cannot photosynthesize. A marble queen sitting in low light will really struggle. It needs more light than its green cousins just to keep up. The neon pothos is something different again. Entirely lime green, no variegation, just one bright color. It is the fastest grower of the bunch, but also the one most likely to wash out and look pale if it does not get enough light. The Manjula and the pearls and jade varieties have more complex patterns with white, green, and silver patches. These are slower growers, more sensitive to overwatering, and they need the brightest indirect light you can give them to hold onto their variegation. Here is what most people do not realize. All of these have different light and water tolerances. Treating a marble queen the same way you treat a golden pothos is one of the biggest reasons variegated pothos plants slowly fall apart. If you are finding this useful so far, hit subscribe. I cover a new houseplant every week, and the next one might be exactly the one you are struggling with. Now, the pothos has this reputation for thriving in low light. That reputation is half true and half responsible for a lot of unhappy plants. A pothos in low light does survive. It does not die quickly. But it does something most people do not even notice until the damage is well underway. It stretches. The gaps between each leaf on the vine, called internodes, get longer and longer. The new leaves come in smaller, the plant gets thinner and more sparse. It is literally reaching for light it cannot find. This is the single most common reason pothos plants look sad. Not disease, not pests, not bad soil. Just not enough light. In good indirect light, near a window and not across the room from one, a pothos gives you compact growth with full-size leaves sitting close together on the vine. The difference between a plant in good light and one in poor light honestly looks like two different species. Pothos can also handle a little bit of direct morning sun without any damage. What it cannot handle is harsh afternoon sun coming through glass, because that scorches the leaves and leaves permanent pale or brown patches behind. And remember, variegated varieties always need more light than plain green ones. If your marble queen is reverting and pushing out more green than white, that is its way of telling you it does not have enough light to hold the pattern. Watering yellow leaves and soil that actually works. Here is the thing most guides get completely wrong about watering pothos. They tell you to water when the top inch of soil is dry. That single piece of advice has drowned more pothos plants than almost anything else. The top inch of soil dries out really quickly, often within a day or two indoors. So if you water every time the top inch feels dry, you end up watering every few days. Pothos roots sitting in soil that is always damp will slowly suffocate and start to rot. What you actually want to do is water when the top half of the soil is dry, not the top inch, the top half. For a standard pot, that means pushing your finger about 3 to 4 centimeters into the soil. If it still feels damp down there, just wait. In a bright spot in summer, this might mean watering once every 1 to 2 weeks. In winter or in a darker corner, it could stretch to 3 weeks or even longer. The good news is the pothos gives you a very clear signal when it actually needs a drink. The leaves go a little limp. Not yellow, just soft and less rigid than usual. That little droop is the plant telling you it is genuinely thirsty, and it will bounce back fully within a few hours of being watered. But pay attention to this distinction. Limp leaves that are still green mean thirst. Yellow leaves with wet soil mean the opposite, and that is overwatering already starting to damage the roots. Now let us talk about yellow leaves, because this is the most searched pothos problem online and also the most misdiagnosed. The pattern of the yellowing tells you everything if you read it correctly. 1 or 2 yellow leaves right at the base of the vine while the rest of the plant looks healthy. That is completely normal. The plant is just shedding its oldest leaves to push energy into new growth. Pinch them off and move on. Widespread yellowing across lots of leaves at once with soil that has been wet for a while, that is overwatering. The roots are struggling for air. Stop watering, check the roots, and if they look brown and soft, you are dealing with early root rot. Yellowing that starts off pale and washed out, beginning with the newest leaves. That is a light problem, often combined with a nutrient gap. The plant is not making enough chlorophyll because it either does not have enough light or it has run out of nitrogen. Yellowing where the veins stay green but the tissue between them turns yellow. That is a magnesium deficiency, and it shows up in plants that have been in the same pot for more than 2 years without feeding. And yellowing that pops up suddenly after repotting, moving the plant, or a cold snap. That is just stress. Give it 2 to 3 weeks to settle before you change anything. Pothos is not picky about soil, but 2 things will reliably cause trouble. The first is using straight potting mix with no amendment. Regular potting soil holds far too much water for these roots. Mixing in 20 to 30% perlite opens up the structure, improves drainage, and gives the roots room to breathe between waterings. The second issue is pot size. A pothos in an oversized pot is sitting in a huge volume of soil that takes weeks to dry. Every extra week of damp soil is another week of stress on the roots. When you repot, only go up 1 pot size at a time. When should you actually repot? Pothos genuinely doesn't mind being a bit root-bound. Roots poking out of the drainage holes are not an emergency. The real signal is when the plant suddenly becomes much thirstier than usual, needing water every couple of days instead of every week or 2. That tells you the root mass has gotten so dense it cannot hold enough moisture anymore. When you do repot, check the roots properly. Healthy pothos roots are white or pale tan and firm to the touch. Brown, soft or mushy roots mean rot. Cut away anything damaged with clean scissors, let the cuts air dry for about an hour, and then put it back into fresh mix. Propagation, troubleshooting, and getting a bushy plant fast pothos is one of the easiest plants in the world to propagate. A cutting dropped into water will root within 2 to 3 weeks, with no special treatment at all. The standard method most people use is simple. Cut a piece of vine just below a node, which is that small brown bump where a leaf joins the stem. Drop it into water, wait for roots, then pot it up. That works every single time. But here is the propagation trick I promised, and almost nobody uses it. Instead of rooting 1 cutting and potting it on its own, root 5 to 10 cuttings at the same time and plant them all together in the same pot. Each cutting only needs 1 or 2 leaves and a single node. When you pot them together, they look like a full established plant almost straight away, rather than one thin, lonely vine that takes a year to fill out. Those lush, full pothos plants you see in photos are not one plant that grew over many years. They are multiple cuttings planted together from day 1. One small but important detail when you put cuttings in water: the node has to be submerged, but the leaves need to sit above the waterline. Leaves sitting in water will rot, foul the water, and kill the cutting before any roots form. Change the water every 3 to 4 days to keep it fresh and oxygenated. Once the new roots are about 2 to 3 centimeters long, pot the cutting into a barely moist, well-draining mix. Water sparingly for the first 2 weeks while the roots adjust from water to soil. Now, let us run through the other common problems quickly. Brown, crispy tips on the leaves are almost always down to low humidity or fluoride in tap water. Try filtered or rainwater and move the plant away from any heating vents. The brown tips already there will not turn green again, but the new growth will come in clean. Pale, washed out leaves losing their colour means not enough light. Move the plant closer to a window. For variegated types, brighter light will bring the pattern back over the next few new leaves. Long vines with tiny leaves and big gaps between them is also a light issue. prune the leggy sections back to a node to encourage bushier regrowth and move the plant closer to a bright spot. Black or dark brown sections on the stem near the soil line is stem rot from overwatering. Cut back to healthy tissue, let the cut dry, and repot into fresh, dry mix. Then ease right off on the watering going forward. Sticky residue on the leaves or fine webbing on the undersides means pests. Sticky coating points to aphids, mealybugs, or whitefly. Webbing means spider mites. Wipe the affected areas with diluted isopropyl alcohol and treat with neem oil every 5 days for 3 weeks straight. Catching pests early makes a huge difference because once they spread to the new growth tips, you are in for a much longer recovery. A quick word on feeding too, because nobody really mentions it. Pothos does not need much, but a diluted balanced liquid fertilizer once a month during spring and summer makes a real difference in leaf size and color. Skip feeding entirely through autumn and winter when growth slows down. Overfeeding causes more harm than underfeeding, so half the strength recommended on the bottle is usually plenty. So, let me bring it all together. With yellow leaves, read the pattern before you do anything. Base leaves dropping is normal. Widespread yellowing with wet soil is overwatering. Thin leggy vines almost always mean more light. Move the plant closer to a window and that fixes most of it. For watering, wait until the top half of the soil is dry, not the top inch. And if you want a full bushy plant quickly, do not grow a single cutting. Root 10 and pot them together. The pothos is one of the most rewarding plants you can own, mainly because it tells you exactly what it needs and bounces back fast when you get it right. If your plant is doing something specific right now and you are not sure what it means, describe it in the comments. I read every single one and I will help you figure out what is going on. And if this video helped, hit subscribe. Every week I cover a new plant in this same format, and the library keeps growing.